Okay, now we're going to talk about a tool called Mana Toolkit. Mana Toolkit is a tool that allows us to create fake access points. The tool is very easy to use and it automatically creates the fake access point for us instead of us manually typing the commands to create the access point. The tool also has a few scripts that allow us to run a number of other tools to allow us to sniff the traffic that happens in this fake access point, bypass HTTPS, and even attempt to bypass HSTS. So the tool comes in with three main scripts. The first one is start no upstream. Basically, this script will create a fake access point, but this access point will not have internet connection. So when someone connects to this fake access point, they will not be able to connect to the internet. The other one, the start not simple, is my favorite one, which basically creates an access point, a fake access point with internet connection. So when someone connects to this access point, they will be able to access the internet and all the packets will be flowing through our device because we are the router or we are the access point. So we'll be able to analyze these packets, capture them, and read them. The third one is the start not full, will basically create an access point with internet connection, and it will also automatically start sniffing, so recording the packets that are flowing through this fake access point, and it will attempt to bypass HTTPS and HSTS. Now, I'm not going to be using the third one because a lot of the time this actually fails. And in the third section of this course, where we're going to talk about the attacks that you can do after connecting to the network, we're going to learn how to bypass all these things and how to sniff packets, capture them, read them, and analyze them. So for today's lesson, we're only going to use this start not simple, where we're going to create an access point with internet connection. And in the future, we're going to see how we can actually capture these packets and analyze them. So before I do anything, I just want to show you the settings for the Kali machine. So I just want to make sure that you use a NAT network as well. So if we go to settings to network and make sure that you're using a NAT network. So this is exactly what I showed you in the previous lecture. Now make sure that you have Mana installed, and to install it, all you have to do is run apt-get install Mana toolkit. Now I already have it installed, that's why it's telling me that it's already installed and it's the newest version. Now I'm going to clear this. Now right here, if we do ifconfig, you'll see that we have an interface called ETH0, and this interface is actually created used by VirtualBox by the NAT network. So it's a virtual interface that is connected to the NAT network, and it's supplying internet connection to this machine. So at the moment, I don't have a wireless card connected to this machine. And so if I do iwconfig, you'll see that I don't have a wireless card. And this machine has internet connection coming from the virtual network made by VirtualBox from ETH0. So if I try to ping google.com, you'll see I'm getting responses back from Google, which means that this particular machine have internet connection. Now you can go to Firefox and try to browse something and Firefox will work. So I'm getting my internet connection from the virtual interface made by VirtualBox. You can get your internet connection from anywhere you want. So if you have two wireless cards, you can use two wireless cards. If you have an Ethernet cable, you can get it from the Ethernet cable. In this case, I'm getting it from ETH0, the interface with the IP address, the one that is connected to the internet. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect my wireless card now to the Kali machine, and I'm going to go to the devices, USB, and pick my card. Now the card should show up when I run iwconfig. So the card is only used to broadcast the signal. It's not used to provide the internet connection. The internet connection is coming from the ETH0, from the virtual interface made by VirtualBox. So I'm going to do iwconfig. And as you can see now, I have a new card called LAN0. This card is in managed mode and it's not connected to any network. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to set up Mana's configuration and start the fake access point. So the first thing we're going to do is modify the host apd mana file, which is located in etc mana toolkit host apd mana.conf. And I used leafpad because this is the editor that I want to modify the file with. So leafpad is just the name of the program, and then we put the location where the file is located. So right here you can modify the settings of the fake access point that we're going to use. The most important thing is the interface that we're going to use to broadcast the signal. And for me, it was called LAN 0. Remember when we run iwconfig, this is my wireless card. This is your wireless card that's going to broadcast the signal, and it's not connected to anything, and it's called LAN 0. Now you can modify the MAC address or the name of the network. So the name of the network in my case is going to be called internet, and the channel is going to be set to 6. So I'm actually not going to modify anything. I just wanted to show it to you in case your wireless card was called something else other than LAN 0. In most cases, it will be called LAN 0. Now, the other file that we want to modify is the startnet simple, and this is the file that will launch the access point. So again, we're going to use leafpad. And in here, again, the first thing that you want to make sure that you set it correctly is the PHY. And this will be, again, your wireless card. So my wireless card was called LAN 0. If yours was called something else, then put it in here. And the next thing, the upstream, this is very important as well. You should specify the card that has internet connection. This is the card that's supplying internet connection to the machine. For, in my case, it was called ETH0, the virtual card made by VirtualBox, and it was the one that had IP address. Again, everything is set up correctly here, so I'm not going to modify anything. I'm going to keep everything the same. I'm going to close it. And my last step is going to be running Mana, and it's going to be running the startnet simple. Instead of saying leafpad, we're going to say bash to execute this file. So our command is going to be bash user share mana toolkit run mana startnet simple.sh, and I'm going to hit enter. Now this happens sometimes. So the best thing to do, or the best thing that I noticed, is you literally just run it again and it should work the second time. Okay, so the access point is running now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my Windows machine and try to connect from it. Now, I'm going to use another wireless card for the Windows machine because the Windows machine is going to be a virtual machine as well. So I'm going to be using a second wireless card connected to the Windows machine to try and test this network. In your case, you can try to connect from your phone or from another laptop. Do not connect from your host machine because you will not have internet connection, because the host machine is the one providing the internet connection for everything. So you either test it from your phone, from a separate laptop, or you can test it from your virtual Windows machine, but make sure you use another wireless card with that machine. So we're going to go back to our Windows device and we're going to search for networks to connect to. And as you can see, we have an extra network now called internet. And as you can see that it has no password. So we're going to try to connect to this network. And we managed to successfully connect to this network. And I'm going to go to my browser and see if I have internet connection. So I'm going to go on bing.com. And as you can see that we actually have internet connection and through this fake access point, and that all the packets now are flowing through this device because this is the AP, this is like the router, so all the packets will be flowing through this device. Now we can actually use Wireshark or any other tool or TCP dump or T-Shark to capture the packets and analyze them. Now again, I'm not going to be talking about that right now because we're going to explain it in details in section 3 of this course.